Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner, episode number 180. This is a very special presentation, and we are bringing you live tonight to the folks that are actually headlining and leading Trek Long Island. This is going to be a Star Trek convention that is going to be taking place on May 20th and May 21st. So I'd like to welcome our guests. First, I'm going to start off with Rachel Hasenauer-Thrower. Folks, trust me, there's a long story behind it, but I'm not going to go through that tonight. And I also have Edwin Thrower.
Hi.
And Stefanie Gangone.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you tonight?
Groovy.
Right.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Very excited about this and very excited to be having you on the show because we are leading up to Trek Long Island, which is going to be the very first time a Star Trek convention of this capacity has been in Long Island. So this is very exciting. You got a lot of news to tell our folks out there. And before we do that, I just want to say welcome to the folks that I see out there commenting. I see Randy Lee is joining us. Welcome, Randy. Thanks for joining. And he's actually joining us on YouTube. So welcome, Randy. Thanks for being out there. I see that Christian is joining us from Canada. Christian, welcome to the show. And also I see that Sue is joining us, and Sue is joining us from Massachusetts.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Great to see you out there. Martin is joining us from New York State. Welcome, Martin. And Sue is commenting, I'm excited to be here listening to the Trek Long Island update. Yes. And also Warren is joining us from Canada as well, too. And he's saying, nice to meet everybody. So I wanted to put that out there. Chris LaRoche is also joining. He's saying the shadow is here, and he's joining us from Florida. So great to see you out there as well, too, Chris. Thanks for being on here tonight. So welcome, and let's get started. And, you know what? My friend Bill Scarrato from Country Gate Playhouse is out there too, joining us from Harmony, New Jersey as well too. Bill, thanks for being out there and joining us as well too. And we have a newcomer. David is joining us, French Shore. He's saying hello, guys, from Berlin, New Hampshire. So welcome, David. Thanks for joining too. I think we got everybody covered. So before we get started, I want to just pose one thing to you. And this is a question I wanted to ask you, and I actually haven't had the opportunity to ask you. When did you become involved with Star Trek, and as far as your involvement? And Stefanie, can I start with you in regards to that?
What's Star Trek? Star Trek? What is that? No. When did I start? Well, watching it, start just getting involved. Oh my God, I can't. And everybody asks, I don't remember. I just remember crafting as a kid and just having Star Trek in the background of all crafting and stuff, and it just melting into my head. But I got to say, my first real memories is probably Next Gen, because I was born in 1975. So Next Gen was probably, my real beginning of it all. And then it flowed on.
That's really awesome.
And I love the vision of Star Trek, and that's why we're doing this.
No, that's great. No, I'd like to pose that question because talking to different people, different friends, different fans of the series, it's always really cool just to find out where their beginnings were and what they really thought about, the show or where it started. And I just wanted, it was something I didn't have the opportunity to actually ask you yet. And Edwin, I don't think, or Rachel, I haven't actually, talked to you about that as well. So can I ask you, Rachel?
Honestly, I mean, I've always enjoyed it, but I never really watched it passionately before until I met this one. And then
you had no choice.
Of course, if I'm going to, be a part of this, I'm gonna have to integrate myself, and I'm glad I did. I absolutely love all versions of the show. They all have their unique qualities that I admire. So I'm really glad that I'm here. And
no, that's very well said too, because there's an individuality and there's something special about all of the series of Star Trek that they bring together to make the Star Trek universe. So absolutely. And Edwin,
do you want to just make mine a separate show? I'll try and give you the cliff notes, and that'll be the first hour of your show. I was born in 1970, and I was always I love science fiction, and Doctor Who is my first love. John Pertwee is the Doctor, but I always watched the original Star Trek with my family. I loved the original show. I wasn't like into it like I was with Doctor Who. And then when the movies came out, I went to watch the movies, and I went to watch Star Trek 3. And that was my turning point. It was like they blew up the Enterprise. And I'm sat in the movie theater, like my jaw is wide open. I couldn't believe that had happened. And I loved the whole themes of that movie about like Kirk and crew sacrificing everything to save their friend. That like spoke volumes to me about friendship and how I live my life.
Right.
And so I went back home and I started to watch reruns and just to see the Enterprise, and I couldn't get enough of them. And then I just, I got so deeply into it. And then TNG came out, and I never got on with TNG. It just wasn't for me. There was some in the later shows. There was some good stories, and I enjoyed it as science fiction. But it never really felt like Star Trek to me. Deep Space Nine came out, and I loved it.
Oh God, I loved.
Deep Space Nine had everything in it.
At the beginning, I didn't like it. I didn't like Deep Space Nine, but I was like you. Later on, I liked it.
And then the rest of them, I like the new shows. Discovery, yes, I love Discovery. I love Strange New Worlds. Mm-hmm. I watch Picard. It's good.
It's going to be great next season.
I love Prodigy.
Yes,
I love Prodigy. Awesome. It's amazing, and I'm not going to comment on Lower Decks.
I like it.
But it's like for me, it's mainly the original series, and that's how I got into it.
No, that's wonderful, and I appreciate you all sharing that, because it's very interesting just to hear how everybody, when you talk to different people, how they became involved with the Star Trek universe. And that's very interesting too, what you said about Star Trek 3, because usually as far as go-to movies, especially with, original series, it's usually Star Trek 2 that's referenced. And the fact that Star Trek 3 had such a strong impact on you, and the impact that you had on you is very underlying too, because I mean, really it is about friendship, and it's the sacrifice of what friendship meant, and more than friendship, it was even more family/friendship. But it is such a strong motivator for that movie. And even when Kirk says, my God bones, what have I done? And it's just that, he did, what he had to just to bring them all together to, ensure that, Spock was going to be found and, be there for him. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people are commenting. Just to let you know, Lou is joining us from Rhode Island, and he's saying hello to everybody. Michelle Diato is out there as well. She's joining us from New York. So welcome, Michelle. And my wife, Sherry, is out there. She's saying hello to everybody. And she commented, she said she's been watching Star Trek since the 60s. Yeah, you got me beat, hon.
And Michelle, Connecticut, Roy. That's something else she got wrong.
Whoops.
Michelle's Connecticut, not New York.
Whoops, sorry, Michelle. I see that Dave Rash is out there too. Hi, Dave, thanks for
hi, Dave.
Good to see you out there. Michelle just said it's all good, so that's good.
Well, now that Edwin's done telling everything, I guess we're done with the show, right?
Well, no, I thought this is a perfect lead-in as far as regards to this, because now you are the showrunners of this convention, and I wanted to just bring it out there. Now, for information on Star Trek Long Island first, just to let the folks know out there, if they have not heard about it, the best source of information right now would be the website. Would that be correct?
Yeah, well, I'm updating the website. Anytime something new is coming out, I am updating the website. So you definitely want to check treklongisland.com out.
Okay, perfect. And there is a strong presence on Facebook as well, too. So.
And Mastodon. I'm using Mastodon World. I have a more strong presence there as well now.
And we are on Twitter and Instagram.
Instagram, Discord I'm starting with. We're out there. And TikTok. I'm cool now.
TikTok out, Roy. So watch out. There'll be all people's songs and stuff.
I'm gonna do the Ferengi dance. You're gonna see me. It's gonna happen.
Like I just said during the pre-show, I just signed up for TikTok, so look out.
Oh, me and you, we'll do a Ferengi dance together. Come on.
There you go.
Oh, Martin's saying he watched it on the BBC back in the 60s. Yeah, I watched it on the BBC in the 70s, and like the BBC cut it to shreds. They'd always put it on at like 7:20 on a Monday night, and it would finish at 8:10 or then. They would put it on at really odd times. It was, but it was prime time viewing for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Chris LaRoche also commented too, and he said, I was watching it on the original run, that and F Troop. Wow.
Oh yeah, F Troop. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. So now what I want to do is I want to share the information, and I thought if you're good with it, we can actually start, and I'm going to present the information to the folks out there. So in regards to the guests that are currently going to be at Trek Long Island, if you could just tell our viewers about them, I think that would be pretty exciting.
Okay, I'm going to my website so I can see everything. Okay, I'm going to start with our headliners. The first person we had announced was Oded Fier. If anybody knows him, he is the Odedmiral on Discovery. He's been in The Mummy, Resident Evil. He's fantastic. I can't wait for him to have him. And then we have Mr. Doug Jones. He's coming. We all Mr. Saru. He was in every single other film ever made to man, so I'm not going to be able to go through those. He's in everything, Hocus Pocus, you name it, he's been on it. So Doug, I'm super excited for Doug. And watch out, the man hugs. He's a hugger. Okay,
Doug's a hugger. Yeah,
he's a hugger. He's Doug the hug. He will hug you. Okay, he'll jump over the table. So prepare yourself. Then David Ajala. So I will really melt into a puddle when I see him. So if you see a puddle on the floor,
that's you.
That's me.
That was you.
That's Stephanie cosplaying Odo.
Yeah, that's me cosplaying Odo. So David will be there. I'm super, super excited. Edwin, do you want to talk about some of the guests too?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with who's next on. So Evan Evagora. Elnor from Picard, or Romulan Legolas, as he's lovingly known on set.
I just watched The Hobbit.
So we've been getting actors to the show, and I think Steph won't mind me sharing this story.
It's great.
We had an email from Evan Evagora, and it says, "Hey guys, I live in New York. I really like to come to your show. Who do I talk to?"
I'm thinking it's good.
Steph sent it to us, and she is this for real? And I went, well, write him back and say, let's do a Zoom with him. And if it's him, great. And if it's a catfish, I guess we'll find out. So we set up a Zoom. And then about 2 hours before the Zoom, I got an email saying, hey, Edwin, I've just landed in Christchurch. I can't make the Zoom tonight. Could we reschedule? So I turned to Rachel and I went, oh, here we go. It's catfish time. So she said, Rachel said, well, just check and see, So I typed in Evan Evagora, Christchurch, New Zealand. Bing! Armageddon. What? Guest, Evan Evagora. I'm like, oh, holy moly. It's either a really good catfish or it really is him. So we went on the Zoom the next night, and there he was while his fiance was out shopping. He was stood outside the shopping mall.
You're just nuts like the morons. Like I said to him, you're not catfishing us. And he looked at me like,
no, you guys thought you were being catfished.
Yes.
We're like, well, so long story short, Evan is a sweetheart, and he puts in touch with his agent, and it was done and dusted. And also his agent represents Issa as well, and we got Issa Briones, his Star Trek Picard fellow cast member. And so now Evan and Issa are coming, and they're going to be doing a Star Trek Picard panel, as well as being at their table throughout the weekend and doing autographs and photo ops. And then we have got Raven Dowder, who is Dr. Tracy Pollard in Star Trek Discovery. And I've been wanting to see Raven for so long, and we haven't seen her at an East Coast convention. And I'm really glad we've got her. She's going to be doing a Star Trek Discovery panel on Saturday with Pumi Sitoli, who plays, I can never remember the name of her character.
Me
It's
neither.
the sign of my advanced aging, but she is the general from Earth in last season of Discovery. And I believe I'm correct in saying this is going to be her first convention.
Yeah, it is her first
and we're very delighted to have her. She's done some other shows. Now, is she in? She's in what? Is she in Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Raven. Go back to her. She was in Umbrella Academy.
I'm going back to Raven because Raven was in our Umbrella Academy as well. And Raven is also, in addition to doing a Discovery panel with Pummy, where they're being interviewed by the Sci-Fi Sisters, good friends of ours who do the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast. She is also going to be appearing with Raymond at the. You say it, Steph, because I always mess it up.
It's the Pop Culture Hero Coalition. It's owned by Chase Masterson.
Yeah. Okay. So Raymond from that organization, which I keep messing their name up, is going to be there, and Raven's going to be appearing on a panel with him. Roy, can you bring the thing up, because I can't remember who else was on there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I
don't want to say the name of a guest we haven't announced yet. That's why I'm asking. I know we've got
you got Sandy.
Yeah, we've got Sandy Gimple, the Salt Vampire from Star Trek the original series. And also a Talosian in the Cage, the very first episode.
We played the hottest people on the show, a Talosian.
Oh yeah. And we have Tanya Lamani coming, who played Kara in Wolf in the Fold, who Scotty was accused of murdering, but we all know it was Jack the Ripper. And Bonnie Gordon, who is the voice of the computer, the USS Protostar in Star Trek Prodigy. And Bonnie does other characters on the show. Yep. She also does the other voices when they're like blocking. She does the entire cast.
She was the Trill in the last episode. Who
spoke with Admiral Janeway, and
she's in prison.
We have a children's area called Starfleet Academy, which we'll talk a bit more about later in the show. And Bonnie has very kindly agreed to come and read a story time, and it's likely to be a Star Trek Prodigy children's book written by another one of our guests, author Rob Perlman. And it's likely that she's going to be utilizing some of her voices from Prodigy to bring that story to life. So
very cool.
That is the guests I believe that I recall we've announced already. We also have authors. Do you want me to say anything briefly about them, or
how about Rachel? You want to talk about our other two guests, Michael and Alan? Getting you not hiding their back anymore.
Rachel can make the actual new guest announcement if you like.
Yeah, because I'll pronounce her name not as pretty. I don't pronounce her name as pretty as everybody else.
Do you want me to talk about the other guests?
Yeah, we need Michael now. I think we should have Michael now.
So we have Alan Howarth, who did sound design for Star Trek's 1 through 4. He's also well known for doing music and soundtracks for They Live, The Thing, Halloween with John Carpenter, Escape from New York with John Carpenter. Alan's going to be a guest. He's very well respected in the science fiction and the horror community, and he's a guest we're really looking forward to. He's going to be doing his own talk and panel on the Sunday. We have Bonnie Moss. Are we going to talk about Bonnie now or later in the show?
We can talk about her right now. That would be, in fact,
do you want to put the slide for Bonnie up?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Here we go.
So we have Bonnie Moss as a guest, and Bonnie's going to be giving a special 2-hour presentation about her friendship with Leonard Nimoy. She was a personal friend of Leonard for close to 35 years, and she's still good friends with his family, keeps in touch with them. Bonnie is, I've seen Bonnie's talk already. She has a lot of unique photos in the talk. I've been into Trek now for like 40 years, and I hadn't seen any of these photos. Some are from her personal collection. Some are from the days when you didn't go on the internet and get a picture. You wrote into CBS or NBC and they sent you a publicity still and thanked you for your interest in the show. And these I've never seen before. It's an amazing talk. It's going to be on the Saturday morning. It's going to be 2 hours, and there will be an intermission and time for questions, but it's really going to be worth going to. And Bonnie is going to be a guest on Roy's show nearer the time to commemorate Leonard Nimoy's passing. Ooh. And as Sue and John says, Bonnie was a guest escort. Sue was a guest escort for Bonnie at Trek Condoroga, and she's amazing. So there you go. You see, you got it from Sue and John there that Bonnie's amazing. So yeah, Bonnie's going to be there. We also have Star Trek authors. As I mentioned, we already have Rob Perlman. We recently announced Keith R. DeCandido, who's coming in. He's a very well-known and very well-respected Star Trek author. Our very own John Peel, who we know and love. John Peel does the Doctor Who adventures. John has written Doctor Who books. He's written a couple of Star Trek novels, including the classic Objective Bajor. And, hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. He's written this TNG novel, which is called Here There Be Dragons, which is very good. And this one is loved, Objective Bajor.
Fantastic.
And when John talks about this, you'll tell, originally this was going to have the Borg in it. And when it came back from Paramount said, we love your story, but can you change the alien race from the Borg? Because we're using the Borg in Star Trek First Contact.
Gotcha.
So, but this is an amazing book. And we have Chris Abbott is joining us. He writes Sherlock Holmes stories, and he knows all the other authors. He hasn't written Star Trek. To talk about that, be on the panel as well. And Michael Jan Friedman. Best-selling. I think we can go to the slide for Michael now.
Yeah. There we go.
What did I do? What did I do? Oh, here we go. So this is Roy, you look like you've got Mike's mug shot from
that was that time you and him went out, Edwin. That night you and
So anyway, so this is Michael Jan Friedman, who is like one of my all-time favorite Star Trek authors. I bought so much of his Star Trek books and comics in the 90s, I probably paid his mortgage. He is amazing, and he is coming as a guest. He's doing a panel, and Mike has a Kickstarter out right now. It is called Thelas and Other Stories, THELAS and Other Stories. And I'm reading this from the site. It's a collection of brand new science fiction, fantasy, and superhero tales from New York Times bestselling author Michael Jan Friedman. And the Kickstarter ends on the 6th of February. I'm already a backer. It's because I've been backers of his other Kickstarters, because his work, his non-Trek work, is amazing if you haven't read it. And they're already 3/4 of the way there to their goal. So please, if you're a fan of Mike's Star Trek work and you want to try his non-Star Trek work, you won't be disappointed. If you check out in the chat, Roy has posted the link to his Kickstarter. And we were trying to get Mike on Roy's show before February 6th, which is the deadline for the Kickstarter. And it just wasn't happening because Mike is actually on a flight tonight. And Mike will be on our friends with Jim Yeager and the guys at Trek Talking, their podcast, on Thursday, February 2nd. I think it's at 7:30. So if you check out the Trek Long Island Facebook page, we'll repost the link to that there, and I'll send it to Roy so he can repost it in his Sci-Fi Corner site. But please check out Mike's Kickstarter, because we really want to support him. He's a great and he's a great guest.
It's on all our social media. So if you scroll down a little bit, it'll be there.
And we mustn't forget, like, Michael Westmore is coming to us virtually. I mean, Mike is the guru of 1990 Star Trek makeup. cool aliens from the 90s. And not just that, but he's part of the Westmore dynasty that have been very prevalent throughout Hollywood in makeup. And of course, Mike is well known for being on the Sci-Fi channel Face Off. So Mike doesn't travel much anymore, but he wants to join us virtually. So he's coming in. Bonnie Moss is going to be interviewing him, and he will do a live Q&A over Zoom in the main auditorium. And he's really, really excited about being a part of Trek Long Island. So, please come and see Mike's talk. And I think, do we have everyone?
I think you got
that's what's wonderful about the virtual event.
Go online. We do have more authors, but check us out, treklongisland.com. You'll see what else is there.
Well, we do also have, and I have to say this because he's in the chat. We have Dave Rash. Out the Limits. Now we have Dave Rash, who wrote the Volume 1, the Outer Limits scripts, Volume 1. And he's got another book out called Nightmare, which is about the episode Nightmare, which stars Trek alumni and friend David Frankham, who many of you will know was Larry Marvick in Is There in Truth No Beauty? We've got Dave Rash appearing, and Dominic Stefano, son of Joseph D. Stefano, who wrote the TNG episode Skin of Evil, and was also the producer on the Outer Limits, the first season of the Outer Limits. They're going to be doing a panel called the Outer Limits of the Final Frontier, and it's going to be focusing on actors who were in Trek and also the original Outer Limits. And we have Twilight Zone specialist and author Nick Parisi, who is going to be there, and he's going to do a Trek to the Zone, which is a similar themed panel, but talking about original series actors that were also in Twilight Zone.
And there's a lot of overlap with that. I mean, when you think about between Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, as far as actors that were in those series, as well as being in the original series of classic, or I'll say classic Star Trek, there's definitely a lot. And even with the production of the Outer Limits, and Dave Rash has talked about this before too, with Bob Justman, who was involved in that production prior to being involved with classic Star Trek. So it's really interesting, and it's really cool to see a lot of those folks that were in those productions, and then you get to see them in classic Star Trek. I just want to say hi to a few people that just joined us. I see that Gordon Moroguchi's out there, friend. Gordon, welcome to the show. Great to see you out there. Also, I saw that Dennis Chevalier is joining us, and he's joining us from Canada as well. And I should say Gordon is joining us from Virginia. Sue also commented, Edwin, Rachel, and Stephanie, I stand in absolute amazement at the Trek lineup. Truly.
I got to say, we made a point of when we did our lineup to pick people that don't normally come to the East Coast. We didn't want to, it's great to have everybody, who's normally out here, but some of these people nobody's ever going to see or never have seen. And the person we announced tonight, you're probably never going to see her again on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very excited about that individual that you're going to be announcing too. So very, very cool. Also, Chris LaRoche is commenting, David Frankham is such a great storyteller, not to be missed.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I love him.
He's spectacular. And Dave also said all roads lead to the outlet. So with that said, Steph, should we maybe put on the slide about the individual that you guys are going to be?
I just watched her episode tonight. Yes, put it up.
Slide on a nip.
Oh, wait a minute.
I think we should have fun with this. I know I could just announce it, but we could see everybody talking. Let's see if we could get people to guess who it is.
Ooh.
Yeah,
let's see. She's an original series. She's in one episode.
Mm-hmm.
In the episode, she ate, but she ate with her hands. She was sloppy.
You're giving it away, Steph.
Come on, let's say it. I'm waiting for people to say who it is.
They've all gone to sleep. I don't see anyone posting.
Another hint. Come on, Edwin. Another hint. Your turn, Edwin. Edwin, your turn. Give another hint.
Oh!
Yes.
No, Michelle got it. Michelle got it first.
I'm so
Good job,
excited to
Michelle.
have her.
Go on then, Roy. Drum roll. Here we go.
And she said I spelled it wrong. Hey, it's okay, Michelle. I
wrong.
represent people that spell names wrong.
Actually, everyone spelled it wrong so far.
Yeah, see, funny, the way it was spelled, the Nguyen is how she
She
spelled
doesn't spell it that way.
She doesn't spell it
Yeah.
that way anymore. She changed it.
Go on then, Roy. Roll it.
Ta-da.
That again is how she spells it. So when we took her to the Doctor Who convention last year, they'd made up her name badge and they'd put the G in it. So we had to get them to drop the G. But France is lovely. She came to visit the Doctor Who convention last year, and we had lunch, talked with her then. And she, would you want to tell this?
No,
about the back?
Nope.
No, okay. But no, she was absolutely wonderful, a delight, and she had a great time at the Doctor Who convention. She was like mesmerized with what it was all about. So
like the opposite of what she is on that episode. The
yes.
Yeah.
Like this gentle,
wow. As I watched the episode, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is nothing. You know, she's so sweet and gentle, real gentle.
I have to admit, I actually had the opportunity to meet her, and it was probably, it has to be over 20 years ago. She was at it was in New York City. She was doing an event, and she was somebody I never thought I would meet. And to your point, you're saying, you know what? Again, it was 20 years ago, and being on the East Coast, so that just shows you how often she's made it over here. And when I got to talk to her, like to your point, she was just super nice. And she, talked about doing Trek. She also talked about doing Hawaii Five-0 because she had done a lot of Hawaii Five-0 episodes. And it was just such a pleasure. So the fact that you are going to be having her at this event, I am super ecstatic about. I mean, because she's not somebody that you will probably see in this area of the country again. So
I don't know, Edwin, how much Star Trek events does she do at all? Does she do many events?
So about 20 years ago, she was doing quite a few. I've met her a couple of times on the East Coast, and I saw her once, I think, at Vegas. And I haven't seen her do many events since then. I don't think she likes to travel very much. And so when we met her, we were very charming to her, and we like persuaded her that she was going to be traveling with friends, some of whom we're announcing later shows.
Description of how we got her when we announced the next guest. It was very quite funny, actually.
And when we announce the next guest, we'll tell you how we managed to convince her to come, because she wasn't keen on flying. But yes, she is very happy to be coming now. We put to rest many of fears of travel she had, and she is. We're delighted to say she is going to be joining us, and we cannot wait to pamper her. So,
I can't wait. So nice.
So it's a very exciting time for Star Trek fans. In fact, Sue just commented, and she just said, again, my hat's off to you, Edwin, Rachel, and Stephanie. I have a boo-boo on my chin because my jaw is scraping the floor. So I just wanted to put that out there.
So now we just need people to get their tickets and come to the event and see them in action. I just want to also, like Steph said, we wanted to have an event because you've got conventions on the East Coast, and many of the people who appear at them live on the East Coast, are situated on the East Coast, so they're easy to get. And that's great. And there's a lot of fan favorites, but it also results in every time there's a Trek convention, it's the same guests. And that's fine if you want to see the same guests. But, I don't want to have to travel to Vegas every time to see a bigger range of guests. So I'm like, let's have an event on the East Coast and let's bite the bullet and bring them here.
Yep.
And let's have something different, something new, something refreshing, and let's have a little more focus on the new shows. And because 90s Trek, in my opinion, 90s Trek has been done to death at conventions. like the TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. And I'm like, let's see people from the new shows. Let's see people from the original series, and not just like, I mean, yeah, we've got Shatner, Koenig, and Takei left, but you know, what about the guest stars?
Yeah,
let's see the guest stars of Trek. You know, Ticonderoga used to get a lot of them, and I would go there for that. And we want to see more of them on the East Coast. You know.
Yeah,
I think a whole chunk of
it's something that
time.
really excites me a lot when you get to see those individuals, because I mean, for me personally, I mean, I was born in '66, so it's a lot of these actors, you know, we grew up with in the '70s and in the '80s, and you know, seeing them all in episodic television. So it for me personally, it's like if I'm doing, you know, a show like this, for example, I mean, I can rattle off people that were in a lot of these programs from the '60s, '70s, and '80s. '90s, I start to fall off because that's just how I am. But it's really nice to know that you have been able to actually contact some of these folks. And these are folks that were really, really special entertainers. They were really good at their craft, really, you know, did a fantastic job. And we have such strong memories. And to have them be brought in is wonderful. And then the fact, too, that the new episodes, the new shows are being celebrated as well, because this is going to be the legacy of the series. I mean, it's encompassing everything. So you definitely have a wonderful representation of the Trek from the past, the Trek from before, and then, you know, the Trek of now, I'll say. So
and we're not done.
and it's boldly going where no
I think
one.
we've got. Don't we have at least another 2 guests, Steph?
We have one more original series, and we have 2 more definite guests. One I'm still working on.
Yes.
Awesome. Any hints?
One of them's pretty strange.
And actually, one of the individuals I just tried to message, so we'll say I sent the link to the show. So
So great.
I just Colin commented in the chat. Yes, the wall color. I wish we could take credit for it, Colin, but it was painted this color when we moved in 3.5 years ago.
Thank you, though.
But thank you. We'll take it.
Yes, thank you.
let me see here. Chris is saying this is a very sly knicker.
Jeffrey Combs, you're talking. I wish soon, maybe next year. I like him a lot. I was thinking he's a thought.
Yeah,
He covers every show.
He was at Connecticut Horror Fest.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Last September, and we went, and it was amazing because they had actors like from the new horror shows, like Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, all these new movies, and they had like very minor lines. And Jeffrey Combs's line was out the door. I think Jeffrey Combs and Keith David had the biggest lines. You know, and the ladies from Night.
No, it's not. I just no.
I'm not Sue just commented. She just said, "I really like Stefanie, but I don't think subtlety is her strong suit."
No. I'm impatient. I'm no.
I think she just you just validated her comment.
See that?
And Michelle also said Jeffrey Combs is lovely. So
yeah, he is. So what else do you want to know? Do you want to talk about toys?
Yes, and actually, in regards to your sponsors, now something was just released on the show's page. Just the show's page onto Trek Long Island's page. And Edwin, you were just telling me about this, and I think when the folks see what this is, it's pretty incredible. And this is actually really almost like retro, because if folks out there who remember growing up in the 70s, there was a toy company that was putting out Star Trek figures. And I must say, I actually had gotten that. I think it was in 1975. I think it was the year you were born, Steph. So now I'm really feeling old. Where my parents were actually hiding because I was, in regards to Santa Claus, were hiding the Enterprise for me, and it was in the closet. And here is actually one of the toys that they're going to be releasing. And look at this Star Trek figure of Spock. And this is from Mego Toys. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Strange New Worlds, Ethan Peck,
Yes.
and it really looks like him as well.
It really does.
It's
They
so
did a
good.
great job.
It's so good.
So now the understanding is they're going to be releasing. Are they going to be releasing all of the figures from the series eventually? Then.
So I had this text arrive the other night, and it was Frank Wojo from Mego, and he said, "Hey Edwin, check this out. Please repost and Trek Long Island exclusive announcement." And I went, "Cheers, Frank, much appreciated." And he sent me these pictures, and like I hastily posted them, and I was saying to Steph, "Please put them out on the rest of social media. This is exclusive."
I'm falling asleep. I'm like, "Oh, Edwin, you're killing me."
So he did tell me that there is going to be another character in this range from Strange New Worlds, and it will be announced exclusively on the Trek Long Island website in about a week.
Very cool.
Or so. It'll basically, whenever he sends me the picture, it will be announced. That's all I can. But there is one other thing.
Bye, Edwin.
No, wait a minute. Here we go.
He disappeared.
You see,
Listen, you think I'm unsettled? He's unsettled.
If you come to Trek Long Island, you can go to our sponsor, Mego Toys, and get your Mego Saru.
Very cool.
And get it signed by Doug Jones. And you can also get your Mego Salt Vampire and get it signed by Sandy.
Edwin, you're such a nerd.
I know. What do you think I'm going to be doing? Where's our program director? He's getting his Mego action figures.
Hey, Edwin, don't ever change. we represent nerdom here. Oh boy. Sue just said, Edwin, can we talk about the calendar?
I knew Sue was going to bring the calendar up. I knew it. Yes, Sue. Patience, young Padawan. We're getting there.
well, hold on to that, Sue. Hold on to the comment. I just want to post. Gordon just said, love to see another science fiction line get energized. Perhaps there would be a need for some prototypes. Roy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Edwin will be like me when he grows up. I just wanted to tell you a little more about what Frank said about Mego. He said that Mego's next wave 17 is coming out, and Star Trek is part of that. They're going to be in toy stores around April, is the aim. And at the convention, Frank and his team will be giving a talk about Mego toys. They'll be on a panel with other people talking about toys in general, but they'll have their own specific panel. And he's hoping, I can't make any promises, but he's hoping to be talking about their plans for Star Trek and other science fiction franchises like Planet of the Apes. And he's hoping to have some prototypes of the next line to bring with him to show the crowd. But again, it's if it happens, great, and that's the intent. The other thing is we are hoping to get, but it's by no means a guarantee, the founder and president of the company, Marty Abrams. Marty's on Long Island. He doesn't travel much anymore. He occasionally attends. Pre-COVID, he appeared at Rhode Island Comic Con. And he is, we're hoping that he's going to be able to attend, because that would be absolutely awesome, because Rachel would like to talk to him about her Sky Dancer doll. Tell us the story.
So we were at this Rhode Island Comic Con. We were at a panel, and I didn't know much about Mego toys. I still know about this much. And so I'm sitting in the panel and I'm listening to the talk and watching him totally nerd out, and I'm just kind of relaxed. And then he talks about this space and time where all he did was develop this toy called the Sky Dancers. And I had one when I was like 13. 17. And so I blurred out loud, I'm like, oh my God, I had that. Like right out loud, like interrupted everybody. And in like 3 seconds, I'm just totally engaged with the fact that he made one of my favorite toys when I was a kid.
Aw.
How cool is that? You had that connection there. That
I
is
did.
really
And,
cool.
like instantaneous. I was like, oh God, I had that.
She got a picture with Marty after the panel because he came over to talk to her about Skydog.
Well, I was just gonna say, because you were probably just being, very cool and collective and low
I was.
level, and then you're there, and then all of a sudden he makes the comment, and boom,
You're
saw
in.
the connection.
Oh my God.
Hey, I have to since you're talking about prototypes and potentially new action figures, and I heard you drop about Planet of the Apes, and I have to say this because there's a few fans out there, and if I don't say it, they're going to say, Roy, you got to put it out there. How about Space 1999? Putting that bug in their ear.
Roy, as you're going to be at the event, you can always go and talk to Frank because they are always open to new ideas. So
okay. That would be wonderful.
The whole thing, because like I made suggestions, like I'd love to see the Invaders, but like I'd be one of the like 10 people buying it. So I think they probably have more of a shot with Space 1999. So definitely, I actually have a Space 1999 action figure somewhere, one of the originals. Yeah, it's. I could go back and chastise my earlier self because it's not mint in box. It's removed from box and well played with, and I can't believe I did that as a child. But it's kicking around somewhere. Is it Tony Morrow or something? A character's name Morrow?
Paul Morrow. That was actually, and this is the Doctor Who connection. That Paul Morrow was portrayed by Prentice Hancock, who had done the Doctor Who episodes.
Oh,
so yeah.
I want Ken to get Prentice for Long Island Who, but
yeah. So there's the connection with that.
We've got a Doctor Who guest also at Trek Long Island, David Ajala, Doctor Who. He's been on it.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
do have one.
The Matt Smith episode, The Beast Below.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of tie-ins with that. In fact, Gordon just commented too, because he's actually worked on prototypes. He's been developing action figures for 1999. He said he'll get me some photos to provide. So anyway, I think it's great to know that these connections are out there, and then maybe something can morph from that. But I love the overlap though with the Star Trek guests, with the Doctor Who guests, as well as Space 1999. So everything is kind of interlinked with everything in regards to that.
Yeah,
so it's very cool.
So we're very fortunate to have Migos, and Frank reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love to sponsor the event, and I said that's amazing, and like Stefanie, oh my God, we've got a major toy company sponsoring us. Like,
yeah, this is happening.
Well, especially Migo. In this, I guess it was the 90s. There were the Playmate figures, and I'm not going to bash them, but I'm just going to say, having grown up with the Migo figures, to me, I went out and I bought probably like about at least 50 of the Playmates, because in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to have these just to have for collectibles, and then I'm also going to have them where I can display them, and again, being a geek and just having the stuff out,
play with them.
Well, I didn't say that, but but no. So anyway, yeah. But the fact that these Migo figures are again, everything is coming full circle. I was having this conversation earlier today with somebody, and again, it's great how everything is just resonating back. So this is just an exciting time just to be a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, it truly is.
And to go to a convention.
Yeah, and to go to a convention. Yes, absolutely. So
I have to say, Walmart's got those some Playmates toys out now, and I bought the Wrath of Khan ones. But what's really cool is they've got an original series phaser and an original Enterprise, and the original Enterprise is like, it's even better than the one they released in the 90s. It's really nice. It's only like $40, so.
Target.
My plug for something other than Migo there.
Yeah, no, and Gordon just said about Target. Yep, exactly. So. And Charles is actually joining us from Florida. Charles, I didn't get to say shout out for you earlier, so thanks for being on the show, and thanks for joining us today. And he's saying, where do you go to be a guest? So anyway, and now in regards to guests, is there any information? Do we want to share any more information right now, or are we going to hold off?
I think that's it. If we got a call in, we'd have to. We'll send it.
Yeah, we have to.
But if not, we can't. We're not
Yeah, we didn't get a call. All righty. Darn.
going.
I was just checking. But yeah, so if anybody has any questions that they want to ask, Martin saying drum roll. The drum roll, Martin, is to stand by. Keep checking the website. I mean, we had a very exciting notification today with Franz being listed as a guest at the convention. So that's very, very exciting. In regards to any other information you want to share with the viewers at this time, though, I think we pretty much hit all.
Talk a little about the children's program.
We've got our other tracks, Steph.
Yeah, well, let's talk about children's first. Because we're going to be running. We're having a really nice children's track. Like, I don't believe this is a family run This is a family event. This is a family event, and everybody's welcome. I'm a children's librarian, so I'm very passionate about having children involved. So we just happen to have a couple of people that will be running our children's programming. They're doing crafts. They're going to have, like you said earlier, with Bonnie Gordon, they're doing all sorts of events with the kids. It's not just going to be Legos and coloring. They're really doing some nice things with them. So I wanted to talk about that. So bring the kids, bring the family. You won't be just dragging them around with them being mad that they're there. There'll be something.
Well, we've got like a couple of the people there. They're having badges, Starfleet badges made for the kids.
Yeah,
that are insignia badges from Prodigy.
Yeah, they're being made out of wood. He's cutting them out of wood. It'll be nice.
And children's. It's the local Star Trek groups, the USS Growler. And we've got children's story time happening there, like various things, Star Trek themed arts and crafts and so on, and various
some sort of cosplay thing. I'm sure there'll be we're still in development of children's, but you'll soon on the website you'll see our children's policy and how that will be running. But they're getting their own room, their own space, they're getting their own respect. The kids are gonna have a great time.
And we've also got so in the main auditorium is going to be where the bulk where all the guests are, the main guests, and then we've got track B, which is what you're in charge of, Roy.
Yes. And talk about it. Tell us about track B.
With great power comes great responsibility. And so basically the track B is going to kick off with Bonnie Moss's talk on Leonard Nimoy, which is going to be phenomenal. And then we have a science track, and our director of science track is a good friend, Alan Pow. He's a scientist. Awesome. And we have Alan Pow. We have various other scientists joining us from like NASA, associated with NASA, and there are going to be talks on genetics and astronomy and so on and so forth. We have, as I mentioned, the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone. We have the Pop Culture Coalition.
You got it.
Pop Culture Coalition.
You got it.
We have a talk. Zarina Salido's coming in, who runs Taking Up Space, which is an organization for empowerment of Native American girls in STEM education. And we have podcasters, a track full of podcasters, Trek Talking, Trek on our very own Sci-Fi tie-dye Sci-Fi corner.
We're a huge supporter of podcasters. Podcasters are a big part of, helping us. We help them, and they come to our event, and they're all going to be there. It's going to be wonderful.
And we are going to have, in the main auditorium, we are going to have entertainment. There's going to be trivia. There's going to be a magic show. There's going to be cosplay masquerade for a bulk of the evening, and some late-night stand-up comedy from local comedians from New York City. And then there's also going to be a dinner and a cabaret.
And I'm ready if you want me to.
That is part of the pass that Stephanie's going to talk to you all about.
Ready? So if you're interested in something a little bit more that other people aren't getting at the event, we're having something called the Q Pass. It's basically the VIP pass. A lot of conventions have them. And our Q Pass is going to bring people in the main stage. You'll have the first 5 rows of seating. The first person to get a ticket will get the best seat, and then so on. It's going to go back. We're going to obviously skipping fast pass, long lines, any autograph, any photo op with your Q Pass. You'll be able to skip everybody, go to the front of the line. You're going to get a photo op and an autograph from one of the main guests: Doug, Oded, Raven, Pumzile, Lisa, Evan, or David.
You can pick.
Early admission to our vendor room. But what's going to be really, really exciting is our dinner. We're doing a dinner that's going to have entertainment with Bonnie Gordon's going to be in there entertaining with more stand-up entertainment. The Red Shirts Improv, song selections from Sailor Marge. Is that you say her name? Marge?
Sailor Marge. We don't have red shirts.
We don't have red shirts. Oh, I have to take that out.
Yeah, the cabaret.
And Kat Smith is going to be running the whole performance, whole shebang. There we go. And we're going to have a full dinner. There's going to be a full dinner with it. And that is on our website. If you want to upgrade your pass to be a VIP, then that is it.
And no promises, but we are hoping that some of the celebrities will be attending the dinner.
If we can.
Yes.
If we can, then we will.
Yeah, we won't know that till it's a little closer, but when I know, I will announce.
And the Q Pass is well worth it because what you're getting, like, for example, if you have an autograph and a photo op from Doug Jones, if you select Doug Jones, for example, that's going to be like
it's like 150, 160 about there anyway.
And then that also includes a dinner with tentative celebrities at your table, plus entertainment, plus the ability to get in early, have a really good reserved seat in the main auditorium.
Yep.
And you don't have to wait in a long line for autographs or photo ops. You'll just come up to the line attendant and they'll take you right to the front. You get your stuff signed and then you can.
I hate lines. That would just be me. I'd spend the money just to get the lines. I would. I'd be like, oh, take it. I don't want to stand online.
To the park and go, holy moly. But then when you see what you're getting for it, you're like, oh, actually, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it is. If you do the math a bit, then it is worth it.
And you know, we are encouraging people to buy soon because the sooner people invest, the sooner we have the money to bring in the guests.
Possibly. Remember how I said before I was still working out a possible guest? That really depends on if I get if we start selling tickets earlier. And I know a lot of people are waiting for tax season, so you know, but you know.
I mean, you know, it's basically the bottom line is you buy the Q Pass, and then we'll be able to bring Sir Patrick in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Edwin, is he in your closet back there?
Can you edit that, Roy? Can you edit that out? We live?
Hey, that's how rumors get started.
That is not true. Don't listen to Edwin. But believe it or not, there was a big guest that I was looking at, but I'm not going to say that person's name. I don't know if I can afford it, but if I could get this other big guest. It would
Crash is having a meltdown. He's like, what?
The comments.
Edwin. But the guest I have is a big name. And if I am in contact with their agent, and I said to them, if I sell these Q passes, I can get them. So come on, please. I want to meet them.
So the basic take-home message is buy your Q pass and buy it
Don't
now.
listen to Edwin.
No, you want to.
Listen to Edwin, but don't listen to Edwin is what you're saying.
And Q passes are limited. I only am selling a certain amount because obviously
they are finite. Once they're gone, they're gone. No tears. You know.
No, so that's a reason to do it immediately or as soon as possible because they are going to go.
They are selling. Believe me, they are selling.
And you don't want to miss out on that. And the other thing I want to bring up is and you mentioned it in regards to in conjunction to the Q Pass celebrity photo ops. So I just wanted to bring that up in regards to how that's going.
We're going to be starting celebrity photo ops, purchasing them February 18th. So mid-February. There it is coming up. So if you bought your passes already, don't worry about it. You can add on your photo ops. If you wait till that day, you just put everybody on there. But don't wait till that day. Get everything early. So, and everybody will be there. You can buy them then. Autographs you can't buy early because all the stars are already saying at the table that they're going to be picking their prices.
They'll have their own prices, yeah.
They pick their own prices, and some of them will know nearer the time. Some of them will want a set time for signing, and others will quite happily sit at their table all weekend and set their own hours. So, that's largely going to be, you'll find out when you show up.
Like selfies, some people will do selfies, some people won't do selfies. You'll see that. A lot of times they write there on their little signs at their table, so you'll see that. So I can't do much about photo ops or with autographs early, but again, photo ops, there's only a certain amount of time, so you want to get those early. There's only a certain amount you get in a day.
And I just want to point out, this is what, $50 for the whole weekend, right, Steph? General admission.
$50, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no single day passes. You come for the whole weekend, and it's $50 for the entire weekend. That's pretty good.
It is. I'm looking at some of the conventions around, and I'm thinking, why am I so cheap? I should raise the price. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And all the tracks and the programming we've got,
so
I think you're really going to love.
So much.
It's really, as Martin said, $50.
Martin is a bargain.
So,
No, and you have and honestly, folks, this is a full schedule. I mean, there's a lot going on for both days. So it's not like it's just going to be one thing here, one thing there. I mean, there's a lot of information, a lot of planning that went into this. So
you'll be able to find something you want to do there at any time.
But there is another track that's going to be opening up, and that's a fan panel track. And that what we're going to be doing is, I think it's up to Steph when she makes this go live, but we are going to have a where you can apply and to do your own panel, your panel idea, and then they'll be looked at and selected, and then we'll finalize that. So that block is empty at the moment, and that's going to be.
Do that in the next couple of weeks, but next couple of weeks probably. I don't want to overwhelm Edwin. He's got. I'm like, here's more, Edwin. Here's more work. No.
I also want to mention, as many of us here are friends of the Ticonderoga Star Trek set tour. Brian Gottschalk from the set tour is going to be coming. And he is going to be, with James Corley's blessing, he is going to be giving a comprehensive talk about the construction of the Star Trek set tour and the history of that. And he's got some great pictures from the construction of the set tour. And he's going to be talking about that. So that's another talk on I think it's Saturday at 6:00. He's going to be giving a really, really nice talk. So I encourage people to come along to that.
And Brian's a really great guy too. So I mean, it'll be very informative and very pleasant, and a lot of stuff, a lot of information to share about that. So
that's
very cool.
Martin's asking, how far down Long Island is the con, Steph?
We're actually kind of towards the center. If you know Long Island, it's exit 46-ish, about there. I don't know where if you're in Manhattan, it might take an hour to drive without traffic.
Yeah, and that's a great lead in regards to where the convention is going to be. So I'm going to put that information up right now, and we can take a look at it, and you can provide some information about that as well too. It's the Hyatt Regency in Long Island.
And we emphasize the phone number. And Steph, what's the details for the rate, the special rate?
The special rate, what you want to do is you want to go to on our website, on our Facebook page. We have a link for. Can I put the link in there, or is there a way for me?
Yeah, absolutely. You can.
Hold on. I'm going to get you that link. It's right. No, that's not it. Hold on. I'm going to get you the link. Well, Edwin, talk about something random while I do this.
So anyway, crop rotation in the 14th century considerably.
Talk about something random. I don't know what.
Right. Oh, we mean to do with Star Trek. Sorry, right? Okay.
Give a topic. I'm looking.
Edwin, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite classic Star Trek episode?
I would have to say City on the Edge of Forever.
Okay.
Very, very, very hair's breadth between the Metamorphosis. Those two, I just City on the Edge is classic, and I don't mean the Harlan Ellison script. I mean the excellent rewrite from Gene Roddenberry, because everyone talks about Harlan Ellison like he's some kind of god, and I have the exact opposite opinion of him. But like what he wrote, Roddenberry took and actually turned it into something that could be televised, and I think the story as televised is superb, and Roddenberry deserves credit for that. And that's my controversial opinion for the show.
As everybody signs off, click, click, click.
Oh my God, we've got one person left. And then their Metamorphosis, because it's an amazing show, and about how the companion wants the man to survive, and it loves the man, and you know. It will
it's a beautiful love story. It really is
amazing. And when you had, and I urge people to go and look in your archives, that when you had Ralph Sinensky on, the director of that episode, and when he was talking about it, I mean, that was one of your shows I absolutely had to tune into. It's an amazing show.
Thank you. He was an amazing guest, and I would love to have him back on, maybe in the near future. His memory, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's going to be turning 100 this year.
He's 100. Yeah, he's 100 this year.
His mind is like a steel trap. I mean, every detail was just amazing, just to listen to him talk. At one point, I thought maybe he had done a series, and I'm not even sure what series I referenced. And right away, he said, "Nope." He said, "I didn't do that show, Roy." And I was like, "Wow." I mean, so impressive. And
100 years young, Roy. He's 100 years young.
100 years young. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm ready with this information now. It's in the private chat. I don't know how to get it.
Coming through now.
I can get it. And what I'll do is I'll post that out to the folks. Thanks for doing that.
And you just want to know, somebody had asked about getting from everywhere. There is nearby public transit centers from MacArthur, Islip, JFK. So if you're taking a plane in, obviously taxi service available to and from. So there's a concierge for taxi reservations also to the hotel.
Isn't there a special code they have to give?
Yeah, that's on the link I just sent you.
Right.
The link I just sent you.
What if they have problems and phone the number
If you have a problem, use the phone number right here. This one right here, the 784-1234. The other number goes to their booking office, and they don't know what's going on.
They don't know anything.
So you just
and their
call
booking office quoted friends from Canada $800, and
Yeah.
like, no.
I called and they didn't believe me. I was having a convention there, so don't call them. Okay, so call this number that's right in front of you here, and the link that Roy's going to send out, it has the right number on there. So you want to call that. If you Google it, you're going to get that other number. You don't want that.
Yeah. In fact, you know what I can do is just so the folks can see it. Whoops, I'm jumping around here. Not what I wanted to do. I'm going to stop sharing. I did put the link into the chats, folks, so you can actually go to that. So
if they want to see transportation, I put that in there too.
Yeah, so
I know that is a big. I know that's a big thing. Edwin will pick everybody up. So wherever you live in the world, I think I saw somebody
like I'm doing bodies flying in to come with us.
Somebody in the UK. Edwin will go to the UK and pick you up.
Bonnie Moss and Uber.
If you're going to promise Patrick Stewart, you're picking everyone up. Okay.
I said Sir Patrick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's when I show up with a cat going.
Oh boy, good times. So yeah, we are on the countdown. So it's hard to believe it's the end of January. So folks, we are literally at 3 months and I'll say 3 weeks to the convention.
We're not ready for that number yet.
I know.
And if you have any doubts about the number, there's a countdown on the website.
I don't look at it.
And the idea is, actually, in a moment, Steph, we should talk charities, because I can feel the vibes coming from Sue through the about the pet calendar contest.
You want to start with the pet calendar and explain?
Okay, so a long time ago in a galaxy, far
Wrong,
away.
wrong franchise.
Wrong genre.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So every year, Sue hits me up with the Metro West North Humane Society cat shelter, pet shelter, their fundraiser, and she enters their cat Sasha, and then I sort of donate and put it all over my social media and say, you know,
calendar.
Come on, you tight people, dig deep in your pockets and help out this needy animal shelter. And then everyone feels guilty and puts money down for it, which is great. It helps the animals. This year, by a whisker, literally, Sue's cat didn't make it into the 12 months of the calendar. They came in just past the post. And I said to them, like, because they had a picture of their cat with a Gangone cuddly toy. And I said, you know what? And she sent me some other pictures of like their cats with a Spock and an Enterprise, a cuddly Enterprise toy. And I said to Steph, why don't we do, because we've got some charities we're supporting, which Stephanie will talk about in a moment. I said, why don't we do a fundraiser? And, you know, as Sue and John gave us the idea, let's include their, as Sue says, Sasha battles the Gangone and wins. We're going to be including their pictures in the calendar. And like the remaining 10 months, we were going to run a competition. And what we're going to do is, like the Metro West calendar, people can vote, and it's something like $1 amount per vote. Yep. So you end up donating, and you put a picture of your animal that you want to be in the calendar, and then people get to vote. So you get all your friends to vote, and when they vote, they're donating money basically. And then the top 10 of that voting process go into the calendar. So it's a fundraiser. And then what we do is we then announce who is going to be in the calendar, and then the calendar will be sold. It will be a 16-month calendar. So we would announce at Trek Long Island Live, you know, the winners that are going to be in the calendar. And then the calendar would be printed over the summer, and it would go out to reach people by September 2023 as a 16-month calendar. So, and like some of like the remaining ones, we might be able to fit in as part of the panel for the September through December 2023. So that's the idea, is to follow the Metro West Humane Society model and raise some money. So as Sue says, and John, pet calendar is for a great cause. So there you go. So that and then I think it's going to benefit one of our charities, or all of, I'm not sure, have we decided that yet, or is it just going to benefit Buddies as it's a pet calendar? Or
we can decide. Yeah, it's gonna
we're deciding that, but it's going to benefit charities.
Yes.
So
it's gonna, we joke around, but at the end of this convention, we're not going on Caribbean cruises. You know, we're taking what we make and some going to next year's convention, but everything else is going to help other people. I don't, you know, my goal in this isn't to become the convention Comic-Con millionaire, but to help people. This is why I do this. This is what Trek's done our entire lives, is help people find themselves, and that's my intention. So some of the other charities. What's wrong, Edwin? You're looking the wrong way. Everything okay? Did I miss something? I thought I missed something. Okay. So did you want? Should I move on to the next charity? Are you ready?
Yeah. So, well, I was just going to quickly say that we are getting the pet calendar together, and then Steph will be making an announcement on the website about the competition, and there'll be more details coming soon.
Yes.
Very cool.
And
yeah, you guys are wonderful, and you have wonderful, caring hearts. So,
aww. And Sue, send me a logo of something sort, because I want to put it on the website. All right. Some of the other organizations that we are supporting is an organization called 1 in 6, and I'm just going to read. The mission of 1 in 6 is to help men who have had unwanted or abusive sexual experiences to a happier and healthier lives. So we'll be donating to them. How that's working: for every $1 that people are spending on their tickets, $1 is going to that organization. the Trevor Project. We'll be doing something at the event that's going to raise money for the Trevor Project. If you haven't heard of the Trevor Project, they provide crisis support for services for LGBT youth. And another organization we're working with is Taking Up Space. Edwin, you mentioned them already, but do you want to give a little more information on Taking Up Space?
I'm sorry?
You'd want to give more information on Taking Up Space?
Oh, yeah. As I said, it's run by our friend Zarina Salido, who she herself is Native American, and she has formed this organization which raises money to send young Native American women from the reservation to like STEM camps to learn science, technology, to visit NASA, and so on and so forth. And they have fundraisers. In fact, we posted the links in on the Trek Long Island site, and I can send them to Roy. They have these, if you'll excuse me just 1 second. You did ask.
It's true.
They have these really cool patches that they do. This one was from Fred Hayes, who was on Apollo 13. And also he was the commander of the Space Shuttle Enterprise. And they released these, they have these, like this one's gold, and then they do the silver arrow, and they've also got the white, actually it's gold signature, white and silver. They've sold out of the gold and the silver, and they've just got the white patches left, which are $15 or $20, I think. And I mean, so they also give you this signed card from Fred Hayes. So you can't actually get the signed ones anymore. Those have all sold, but they do still have the standard patch available. So they're rather nice patches if you just wanted to get a collector patch for $15 to help the cause. They've already hit their fundraising goal for this year, but they do them every year to help Taking Up Space and other charities. So please keep an eye out on there. We'll send you the details to their page. Roy can post them on the Tie-Dye Corner. Okay.
Yep. So very nice.
And the last organization is the organization that's actually hosting the event. It's my organization, the reason why I'm doing Trek Long Island, which is called Library for the Kind. And I started this organization during the pandemic, and this reaches out to children through children's literature that are having issues with themselves, with gender, with bullying, with mental health issues, and helping them understand themselves, helping them understand the people around them, and building empathy. So with Library for the Kind, I'm hoping to purchase books to send out to organizations that might not have the money. Some libraries don't have the budgets. Some school libraries don't have the budgets to buy books, to provide these books on gender awareness, on depression, anxiety, and all sorts of topics like that.
So wonderful causes then.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting us.
Oh, absolutely. My goodness. In regards to, and one thing I do want to just mention too, and this is kind of outside the parameters of the convention. I don't know if folks out there heard though that actress Annie Wersching had passed away, and very, very sad. So our hearts are with her family and friends, and it's just a sad day. And she had a battle with cancer, so very, very tough. And my understanding, and we were talking about this, she was working right up until the end too. So it's our hearts go out to her family, and it's quite a loss. And just for there's been a lot of things we've been reading about in the news, and then also just a lot of things going on with families. So just keep our thoughts and prayers and positive thoughts with those that are dealing with different things at this time. So, but I definitely wanted to make sure we gave her a nod though.
And I have to say, I really enjoyed Picard season 2, and I thought she was amazing as the Borg Queen. I thought she knocked it out of the park.
She was great.
She did an amazing job.
Perfectly creepy. She was great.
Yeah, really creepy. So, very
and talking about Picard season 2, I mean, season 3 is I believe less than a month away. I am very, very much looking forward to tuning into those episodes. So
James is having a screening at the set tour on I think it's February 16th and 17th. It's a free screening, and he's doing set tours as well. We'll be in Gallifrey then in Los Angeles, the Doctor Who convention. I agree with Sue. She's put Annie Wershing put the fear back into the Borg. She was amazing as the Borg Queen. Absolutely terrifying. Terrifying.
I can't wait to watch Picard.
No, I'm with you on it.
I'm like, oh.
It's an exciting time. I mean, I just can't believe, in regards to the next generation, we were talking, talking about different things. I remember watching the final episode, All Good Things, ... as I like to refer it to. And my God, to think that was May of 1994. And now we are here in January of 2023. I mean, I don't know. The time is just going by so quickly. I mean, even
everyone has aged except Gates McFadden and Patrick Stewart. Gates has got younger and Patrick looks the same.
It's kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I saw Gates McFadden on something. I'm like, wow, she doesn't age. She really doesn't age.
She looks great. Actually, I think I saw her in person. It was in Ticonderoga, and I think it might have been 4 years ago already. With COVID, it's like there's that 3-year block, which is coming up. I'll be able to say next month. It'll be 3 years in March. I think it was like March 18th when everything just shut down. When you think of those 3 years, or 2 to 3 years pre-COVID, it's like, whoa. I mean, it's just where did the time go?
Those years don't count. We didn't age those years. That's why those years don't count. So everybody subtract 2 years from your age, and that's your real age.
There we go.
I looked in the mirror the other day, and my hair actually looked a bit darker. I don't know why, and I started to wonder if I was in the Twilight Zone episode.
Sue just commented, and she said the trailer for season 3 of Picard just dropped a half hour ago during halftime of the AFC Championship game.
Ooh.
But no one was watching because they were all tuned in here.
Who watched that when we're here?
So Michelle's saying I've added 2 years from teaching through COVID. Now I know.
I feel for you, really.
Yeah.
So we've done the charity, Steph. We've done the price. We've done the guests. The passes. Is there anything?
No. Is anybody else? Any of the audience want to know anything?
Yeah, folks. If you have any questions you want to ask or anything that is coming to mind, please feel free to post out and let us know, and we can cover it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go to the show's shout outs. And then what I'll do is I will come back to see if anybody has comments or questions. And then if there's anything that you want to, add to that. Oh, Martin is commenting. He's saying vendors. Is there going to be a dealer?
There will be vendors. Yes. Well, obviously Migo will be there. I don't want to shout everybody out yet, but we are going to have vendors, book vendors. Obviously we'll have craft vendors. Trying to think of who else we're having in there. We're gonna have a cupcake vendor. We're gonna have.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes, it is. She'll be there. They're called Simply Sweets by Melissa, and she's so sweet. And it's cupcakes, and she's gonna be there.
If you come, I've asked her to do like some Trek theme ones because at Long Island she had these cupcakes, and this frosting was all like spiral, like blue and purple. And I was like, could you do like one and call it the Murph cupcake from because
she remembered because she said it.
Who themed cookies and stuff. So
they were delicious.
There goes my diet.
We're trying not to have like the same vendor one after the other. It's like, there's another. You're trying to spread it out. Get a jewelry vendor, a cupcake vendor, this vendor. So, I don't want to say who I think's coming, just in case something happens.
Sure, no, that's understandable. But the short answer is there will be vendors there, and there will be a dealer's room. So that's really cool. So Martin, that is definitely covered. So yeah. And if anybody else has any other questions, Warren said that he saw the preview, and he said it was bombastic. And Sue said, "Don't worry, Edwin and Rachel, you had my full attention. I was watching TV in the background."
Far be it for us to go up the very cool Titan A. I mean, that ship, I have to say, it's so cool. It's like the original Enterprise meets an updated design, and I was like, wow, that piqued my interest more than anything.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go to the shout outs, and then I will come back, and then we will do a coverage real quick then on that. So let me just share my screen, and there we go. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to Mike and Mary Beth, and they do Sci-Fi Distilled. They are on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they cover science fiction of the 80s, 90s, and beyond. They are going to be back February 1st, which is Wednesday, which I cannot believe that February 1st is here already. My God. And they're going to be doing the 2013 film Oblivion, which I believe is the Tom Cruise film. So if you have the opportunity to check that out, that will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sci-Fi Distilled. Also, want to give a shout out to the Long Island Doctor Who convention that's going to be taking place in August.
I'll be there.
Very cool. And that's going to be from the dates Friday, August 18th through the 20th. And a special announcement was just made that Catherine Schell is going to be there at the event. So very, very cool. In fact, we actually covered this Doctor Who episode on this show probably about 6 weeks ago. My co-host Ross Samico and I had discussed it. We have not really gotten into the all the intricacies of Doctor Who, and we are going to be going back to discuss it. I mean, Doctor Who is a show that's been around since 1963, and we definitely want to give it special attention. But what we did in the meantime to make sure that we were covering it, we actually discussed this specific episode, which involved actually actor Julian Glover was in it, along with Catherine Schell, who are both Space 1999 alumni, and everyone knows that Catherine Schell was Maya in the second season, and Julian Glover was actually in this Space 1999 episode Alpha Child as Jackie Crawford. So anyway, for further information, definitely tune in, and you can go to the website and the Facebook page for Long Island Doctor Who. And I want to give a shout out to my friends at Countrygate Playhouse. My friend Bill Scarrato is actually out there tonight. Countrygate was affected by the pandemic, just like all other theaters were through COVID. And Countrygate is back for this year, full season. And you can go to the website, which is at www.countrygate.org, or you can visit Bill's website, which is at www.billscarrato.com. Again, there's a full season. And two things I want to mention. First is if you are in the Belvedere area of New Jersey, there is going to be a murder mystery taking place, and it is called Country Sweetheart Murders. And it is on February 11th, and it will be at 6 p.m. It's a Saturday. Tickets are available, and you can call up in regards to that information, and it's at the Belvedere Manor. And then next is going to be the first show that's going to be for the season at the theater, and it is Sylvia. And it's going to be Saturday, March 18th and Sunday, March 19th, and Saturday, March 25th and Sunday, March 26th. The Sunday shows are the matinees at 2 p.m. The Saturday shows are at 8 p.m., and this is Eastern Standard Time. And again, you can go to Countrygate, www.countrygate.org. My friend Captain Phil's Planet, WUSB 90.1 FM, Stony Brook, New York, which is out on Long Island. The captain's schedule. He broadcasts, and it is on alternating Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. and then also on Friday nights from 9 to 11:30 p.m. So tune into Captain Phil. And then also my friends Martha and Snow, they actually have Studio One Thrift. They just launched a new website. You can go to their website, which is www.studioonethrift.net. They are the owners. They've been doing this for about 9 months now, and they have showcased their lineup for all seasons, all year long. Quality, stylish, affordable clothing for men and women. And again, go to their website, and to receive updates, just make sure that you subscribe. And then also I want to announce we've been putting out there the Space 1999 event taking place in Calgary, Alberta, which is going to be going on the dates of April 28th to May 1st. And this is a Space 1999 event. It is pretty much going to be a relaxicon, but there's going to be some exciting things going on there. Actor Nick Tate, who played Alan Carter, is scheduled to be there. Also, there is going to be a documentary that's going to be filmed in the process of called The Eagle Has Landed. And this is by filmmaker Jeffrey Morris. There's going to be information. Jeffrey's actually going to be joining the show this coming Friday, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But definitely in regards to that, visit the Space 1999 web Facebook page, which is Space 1999 50th Anniversary Celebration for more information. And then lastly, my co-host and friend, Ross Amico, he does 2 shows, one that's on Saturdays at 6 p.m. It's called Picture Perfect. And then he also has a show that is called The Lost Chord, which is actually on tonight. It's on Sundays at 10 p.m. and it's Eastern Standard Time about neglected films and music. You could definitely check it out. And it is broadcast on WWFM, the Classical Network. And then lastly, as I was saying, this Friday, writer, director, producer, entrepreneur, and production designer Jeffrey Morris will be joining the show. And he will be on, again, this coming Friday. And that will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's going to be talking about his documentary, which is the Space Nine, in regards to the Eagle. The Eagle has landed, which everybody knows from Space 1999 fandom was the spaceship, the iconic spaceship, which is known to Space 1999 fans. And then lastly, we needed to reschedule due to internet issues Patrick Reed Johnson was having. He was scheduled to be on this past Friday, but he's going to be coming back on February 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this will be episode 182, and it'll be a special discussion in regards to the film that he wrote and produced, which is 5/25/77. So again, unfortunately, he was not able to be on this past Friday, but again, he will be on in 2 weeks. And I want to take it right back. So in regards to comments that were out there, Steph and Edwin and Rachel, did you have any information that you wanted to cover before as I'm checking the comments and making sure we've got everything?
I can think of.
I think
we covered pretty much everything.
We've
Yeah.
All the marks.
Yeah.
Everything else is a surprise. We're not telling. How's
Okay. Alrighty, and I'm just going through the comments and everything. It looks like folks were really commenting about the show, that they enjoyed it and everything too. So I think we pretty much hit everything that we can cover for tonight then, which is pretty good. So want to thank you very much for taking your time and coming on the show. It was wonderful having you all on. And
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had fun. That's the important thing. And we're all Star Trek fans, so it's exciting. Anytime you can bring friends together and family and friends, like as I'd like to say, or even family to an event. I mean, so many relationships have been born through these shows that are so we're so passionate about. And I have to say, probably 95% of my really close friends are a result of these shows, and
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. And what's wonderful too is it's from all around the world. I mean, we are well represented with this show because we have people tuning in not only from different states, but sometimes we even have from different countries, and it's pretty cool. So one of the pluses from the pandemic was being able to actually do the show, because this was kind of almost like a project that I kind of launched off doing, and it's going to be 3 years this April, that April 3rd, that I actually did my first broadcast. So, and Edwin, you're on the show with me, so I get to say thank you very much for all of your support. Edwin has been so supportive of this show. He has a lot of wonderful people in my direction, and I really wanted, now you're actually here in live, not just coming on just for a moment, just to, just do an interview, but just to say thank you for that. And I really, really appreciate it. It's very nice, and it's very appreciated.
It's nice if I know people and they'd be of interest to your audience as well. Then if I can get you connected with them and they come on here, then it's good for all of us. I'm really happy to help, and you do a great show, and it's just really nice to support it and have a good show. Love it. It's great.
Thank you.
And Rachel's just grateful you've got her name right. That's
This time, yeah.
I am never going to live that down. Rachel Hasenauer-Thrower. like I said, there's a long story to that, folks, but it's all good. Anyway, I want to wish you a wonderful week ahead, and I want to thank everybody for being out there. Steph, nice to actually have you on the show too, as well. And I actually finally got to meet you in person. Actually, I had met you at Ticonderoga a few years ago because in fact, the photo of you, I think, in the Starfleet uniform. That's how I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you were I'll say next gen, but you were a next gen red shirt, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But everyone, live long and prosper, as we always like to say. And we'll see you all next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Till next time. Thanks, Roy. Thanks for having us on.
Bye,
Buy
everyone.
your tickets, everyone.